Welcome you all to the course Database Management System. Myself, Muhammad Asifuddin Mondol, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Narula Institute of Technology. This is lecture number 7. It will cover the relational model and relational algebra, part 3. In this lecture, I will discuss set difference operation, set intersection operation, and division operation. So, what is set difference operation? Now, it's a fundamental relational algebra operation. Second thing about set differences operation is that it is a binary relational algebra operation. Why it is called binary operation? Because a set difference operation involves two relations. Now the set difference operations denoted by minus sign, and this operation allow us to find the tuples that belongs to in one relation but not in another relation. Now set difference operation actually denoted by the expression r minus s, where r is a relation, s is also a relation, and this is the set difference operation. Here the point is that the schema of r and the schema of s should be of same type. That means the number of attributes in r and number of attributes in s must be same, as well as the domain of ith attribute of r and domain of ith attribute of s must be same. Means the number of attributes should be same and the attribute type must be same. So expression r minus s, if we perform that operation, it produces another relation. Now the resultant relation, what will be the schema of resultant relation? It will be same as the schema of r or s. That means after performing r minus s operation, it will generate another temporary relation whose schema is same as r and s. And as far as the record or the tuple is concerned, r minus s operation produce a relation which will contain only those tuple that are belongs to r but not in s. So take that example. This is the relation r, this is relation s. Relation r and s, now we can perform r minus s, where r is a relation, s is a relation. If r and s of same arity, means they have same number of attribute. Here r and s both have same number of attribute, and then what will happen after performing r minus s, we will get that relation. And the thing is that after performing r minus s, the resultant relation, as far as the schema is concerned of that relation, it is same as the schema of r and s. The resultant relation have two attribute a and b, which is same as the parent attribute r and s. Now as far as the record is concerned, the resultant relation contains only those record or those tuple from r which is not present in s. For example, if you consider the first one, alpha 1, a value of a is alpha, value of b is 1, so alpha 1. Now it will, the resultant relation will contain alpha 1 or retain alpha 1 from r if that value is not present in s. Yes, the alpha 1 is not present in s, that is why alpha 1 is going to be stored over here, means that value will be here. Now next, check whether r minus s will retain alpha 2 from r or not. For that, we have to check alpha 2 is present in r, but alpha 2 is also present in s, so alpha 2 is not going to be over here. Next, beta 1 is present in r, but beta 1 is not present in s, so beta 1 is also going to be retained in resultant relation. So r minus s, if you perform that operation, then it will retain those information or those tuple from relation r which is not present in s. Now take an example of set difference operation. Suppose the two relations are given. One is the depositor relation. This is the depositor relation which contains customer information who have an account in the bank, customer name and account number. And another relation is the borrower relation which contains those customer which have a loan, customer name and loan number. So our objective, our query is to find or print all customers name of the bank who have an account but not loan. So the customer who have an account, we get that information from relation depositor only, and the customer who have a loan, we can get that information from the borrower relation only. So if we perform the pi customer name depositor, then it will produce another temporary relation. So if we perform pi customer name depositor, that means we are performing the projection operation on the relation depositor, and we are only fetching the value of customer name. So that particular operation produce a temporary relation. And what will be the schema and what will be the content of that relation, I will show it here. This is the schema of temporary relation after performing this operation by customer name depositor. So temporary relation have only one attribute, which is mentioned over here, customer name. And what about the records? It contains all the information of customer name. All the customer name will be included over here. I'm not writing this here, so all the customer name from depositor will be written over here. So this is the temporary relation after performing pi customer name depositor. Now if you perform pi customer name borrower, then what will be the structure? And after performing pi customer name borrower, the resultant relation will have this kind of schema. It will contain a single attribute which is mentioned over here, customer name, and it will contain all the customer name from borrower into that relation. Now if you perform pi customer name depositor minus pi customer name borrower, so what will happen in terms of temporary relation? Then that means actually we are performing this relation minus this relation, so ultimately we will get that particular relation. Means this is the temporary relation, this is another temporary relation, then we are performing minus, means the output of temporary relation, which is this one, the schema of that relation will be same as same schema, the schema of that particular relation will be same as this relation and this relation. Both the relation have a single attribute, customer name, that is why it has the customer name attribute. And what about the data of that relation? It will retain only those record from customer name which is present in that particular relation but not present in this relation. That means let's check the records or check the tuples. That relation contains all the customer name, means these are the customer name which is present over here, and it contains all the customer name which is present over here. So let's check Hayes is present over here or not. Yes, Hayes is also present in borrower, so Hayes will not going to be stored in here. Johnson is present here but is not present over here. So R minus S means depositor minus borrower, means it will contain only those customer name from depositor which is not present in borrower. So Johnson is present in depositor but not present in borrower, so Johnson will be over here. Then Jones is present in depositor as well as is present in borrower, so it is not going to be stored over here. Lindsay is present in depositor. Now check whether Lindsay is present in borrower or not. Is not present in borrower, so it will be stored over here. And next, Smith is present in both the relation depositor and borrower also, so it is not going to be stored over here. And Turner is present in depositor but it is not present anywhere in the borrower, so Turner is going to be present over here. So that means we are getting the list of customer who have account, means who have an account but not loan. So that is how we can operate the set difference operation. And as I have told earlier, we can perform the R minus S operation or the set difference operation minus R minus S is to be valid, or we can perform the R minus S if two conditions hold simultaneously. The first, the relation R and relation S must be of same arity, that means they must have same number of attributes. If one relation have two attributes, another relation has three attributes, then you cannot perform R minus S. First of all, both that relation should have same number of attributes. And second thing is that the domain of ith attribute of R and domain of ith attribute of S must be of the same type for all I. Means the attribute type correspond to both the relations should have same data type, same type. That means same type means in the sense they may be of same data type, same length, like that. And then next we are going to discuss about the set intersection operation. And the set intersection operation is not a fundamental operation, it is a additional or extended relational operation, and it is denoted by R intersection S. Now R is relation, S is another relation, and this one is the intersection sign. So take an example, suppose R relation, S is a relation. Now again, same as set difference operation, now set intersection is also a binary operation because R intersection S, this set intersection operation is performed on two relation. So that is why it is called binary operation. And same as set difference operation, the set intersection operation can be valid or can be performed only if R and S of same arity, means they have same number of attribute, and domain of ith attribute of R and domain of ith attribute of S must be of same type, then only you can perform. So here R and S of same number of attribute in both the relation R and S, and the type of attribute of R and type of attribute of S. So if you consider the attribute A in R, attribute A in S of same type, same is applicable for attribute B also. So if you perform R intersection S, means if you perform the set intersection operation of relation R and S, then it will produce another temporal relation. Now as far as the schema is concerned, the schema of temporal relation is same as the schema of R and S. That means the temporal relation should have also two attributes A and B. And as far as the data is concerned, the set intersection operation retains the tuple or the information which appears in both the relation, both in R as well as S. So let's check. Alpha 1 is present in R and alpha 1 is not present in S. So alpha 1 is not going to be over resultant in relation. Now let's check whether alpha 2 is going to be present over here or not. So alpha 2 is present in R as well as alpha 2 is present in S. So R intersection S will store that value alpha 2, because R intersection S operation will retain those tuple which belongs both the relation in R as well as in S. So alpha 2 is present in both R and S, so it will be in the temporal relation. Now beta 1 is present in R, but beta 1 is not present in S, so beta 1 is not going to be stored. Now if you consider the relation S, alpha 2 is present in S and alpha 2 is also is present in R, and already it is included, so no need to write it again. Now beta 3 present in S, but beta 3 is not present in R, so beta 3 is not going to be included in the resultant relation. So this is the output of R intersection S on these two relations. And very important point, the note is that R intersection S is not a fundamental operation, it is additional or extended operation. Why it is called additional operation? Because that operation does not add any extra power or any extra features to the relational algebra operation. Why? Because set intersection operation can be performed, means R intersection S can be performed via other fundamental operation. For example, instead of doing R intersection S, you can get the same result if you do R minus S. Now in the just previous slide what we have learned, minus means set difference operation. That means with the help of that kind of set difference operation we can achieve the same result of R intersection S. So that means the result of R intersection S is same as the result of R minus S. So you can check it by your own that these two operations are same. That is why these two operations are equivalent. That means R intersection S does not add any extra power to the relational algebra operation, because instead of doing that operation we can achieve the same result by doing the set difference operation. Suppose we have to find all customer who have both loan and account. That means we have to print only those customer who have an account in the bank as well as have some loan from that same bank. So depositor and the borrower are two given relation. So we can get the customer name who have an account from depositor account only, and we can get the customer name who have a loan from borrower account only. So if we perform pi customer name borrower, that means projection operation under borrower, that means pi customer name borrower, it will generate a temporary relation which have a single attribute customer name, and it will contain all the customer name from borrower relation. And if we perform pi customer name depositor, means we are performing the projection operation on the depositor, so it will produce another temporal relation with a single attribute customer name, and it will retain the information from depositor, means it will contain all the customer name from the depositor. Now if we perform the projection operation between customer name borrower, then projection operation by customer name depositor, then what will happen? It will produce another temporal relation, means the temporal relation will have a single attribute customer name. So it contains only those information which is present in borrower relation but not which, so set intersection means it will contain the information which is present in both the relation borrower as well as depositor. So just check it. Borrower has Adams, we have to check whether Adams is present in depositor or not. No, so Adams will not be there. Curry is present in borrower, we have to check whether it is present in depositor or not. No, it's not present, so it will not going to be there. Hayes is present in borrower, Hayes is also present in depositor. So if a particular tuple belongs to both the relation, then it will be over in that particular relation. So Hayes will be there. Then Jackson is present in borrower but not in depositor, so it will not going to be there. Jones is present in borrower, Jones is also present in depositor, so Jones will be there. Smith is present in borrower, Smith is also present in depositor, so Smith will be there. Williams is present in borrower but Williams is not present in depositor. Now set intersection means you have to combine all the information from both the relation. If the particular record present in both the relation, then that will be in the resultant relation. So we have already checked with the borrower, now we have to check with the depositor. Hayes is already included, no need to check. Now check about the Johnson. Johnson is present in depositor but Johnson is not present in borrower, so Johnson will not be there. Jones is already included, no need to check. Lindsay is present in depositor but Lindsay is not present in borrower, so so Lindsay will not be there. Smith is already over there, no need to check. Then Turner is present in depositor but Turner is not present in borrower, so Turner will not be there. So say this is how we can operate the set intersection. So set intersection operation means it will the structure of the temporal relation will be same as R and S, and about the content of the tuple of temporal relation, it will be the tuple which belongs to both the relation, means both belongs to R and S. The next operation is division operation. Again, a division operation is not a fundamental operation, it's additional operation or extended operation. Again, division operation is binary operation because that operation is performed on two relation. It is denoted by R division S, and that kind of operation is suited for the queries that include the phrase for all. Now we are discussing that kind of query with the help of division operation in my next video lecture. Now the output of the operation R minus S is another temporal relation. Now the schema of that temporal relation is R minus S. That is, if you perform R minus S operation, then we are getting another temporal relation whose schema should be the attributes of schema R. That means in R division S means it will produce another temporal relation whose schema is like that. It contains only those attributes which is present in R but not in S. Let's take an example. Suppose R and S are two relation, and the schema of R and S are given here. R relation has this set of attribute, and S is this set of attribute. If you perform R division S, then we are getting another temporal relation whose schema is only A1 A2 dot 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 AM. That means why? Because after performing R division S, the temporal relation will retain or contain only those attributes from R which is not present in S. So that means R contains A1 A2 dot dot AM, this set of attributes present in R, but that set of attribute is not present in S. So A1 A2 A3 dot 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 AM will be in the temporal relation. Now let's check whether B1 B2 dot Bn will be over here or not. As B1 B2 dot 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 Bn, this set of attribute present in R as well as they present in S, so that attribute is not be included in the resultant relation. As far as the tuple is concerned in the resultant relation, it is like that a tuple T is in R minus R division S if and only if both the condition holds. First, the tuple T is in pi R minus SR, and for every tuple TS in S, that means TS is the tuple which belongs to S. For every tuple TS in S, there is a tuple TR which is in the R relation. Satisfy both of the following: TR is equal to TSS and TR minus is equal to TS. Let's take an example. Suppose R is the relation with the two attributes A and B. S is another relation with attribute B. Now R division S. So what will be the temporal relation schema? What will be the schema of temporal relation? It should contain the attribute which is present in R but not present in S. Now attribute A present in R but not in S, so A will be there, but the attribute B is present in R but B is also present in S, so B is not going to be over here. So this is the formal way to represent what will be the schema. Already I have mentioned that. Next, what information is going to be stored in the resultant information? Let's explain this. For every tuple from S, if there is corresponding record present in relation A, then that particular record A will be selected, and that particular record's attribute A's value is going to be stored in that relation. For example, a relation S contains two tuple 1 and 2. So for every tuple means 1 and 2, for 1 and 2, if corresponding record is present in relation R, so check for 1 and 2, alpha is present, alpha is also present. For every tuple in S, alpha is a particular record is there, so that value will be selected, will be over here. Next, for 1 2, if any other particular attribute is present for every tuple in S, check beta. Yes, for beta 1 is present, 2 is present, so beta will be selected. Now for every tuple of 1 and 2, if particular record say gamma is present or here or not, gamma is present for A but gamma is not present for 2, so gamma will not be selected. For every record or every tuple in S means 1 and 2, if delta is present here or not, delta is present for 1 but delta is not present for 2, so delta will not be over there. And as well as epsilon for the value of 1 in relation S, epsilon is present, but for the value of 2 in S, epsilon is not there, so epsilon will not be included over here. So this is all about the division operation. In my next video lecture, I will discuss how to use the division operation while solving particular query. As well as in my next lecture, I will discuss about the Cartesian product operation and natural join operation. And these are the references you may go through for further details.